All right, folks, we are live. Let me. All right, folks, we are live. Let me. All right, folks. Pull back the music here a little bit so you can hear us better, and I don't hear echoes of myself. Yeah, we'll keep it right around there. Okay, so I see ourselves and I hear us. So, Pana, go ahead and give me a quick sound check one more time, please. I cannot hear you. There.
Hello?
Yes, there you are. Perfect. All right, so I think we're good to go. If you're in the chat room, folks, if you have a hard time hearing us, let us know, please, and we'll try to adjust the volumes. Okay, so very good morning. If you are okay, so we got confirmation from the chat room that they can hear us. So perfect. Very good morning if you are in the Americas. Good afternoon and good evening if you are in the rest of the world. This is Code It Live. Welcome to Code It Live. This is a channel where we code about lots of different technologies throughout the week. You saw some Blazor, you saw some Sitefinity yesterday. We are doing Unity this morning, and tomorrow is going to be some more web dev with React and JavaScript maybe, and some UI. Thursdays I normally do Xamarin, and Fridays is a chat show. So throughout the week, whenever your time permits, please come and join us. So my name is Sam Basu. I am a developer advocate here at Progress Software, and with me today I have my good friend Panayot Cankov. So Pana, please introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Panayot Cankov. I have been working in Progress for about 10 years. We started some R&D effort in AR and VR like 3.5 years ago. And that's why we're here, because we have fun with C# Unity.
Yes. Yeah, and I am a complete noob, so I am going to be learning through. And our goal is to kind of try doing this every Tuesday, maybe, where I'm trying to learn Unity from Pana. But before we start, though, I do want to acknowledge again the times that we are living through, and maybe this is kind of a little breather for all of us. First up, there is a global pandemic, which is unprecedented for all of us. And then there is a lot of unrest and some cries for social justice in the US. Much of it is something that everybody is participating in. So we want to be very conscious and supportive of everybody. Social change takes time and it's painful, but sometimes it's needed. So our love and hugs for everybody in this. Okay, so let's start. I think our audio video is still good. Hey, Seraphat, it's good to see you in the chat room. Yes, love for everyone. We all need more and more love to heal and take care of each other. Okay, so here's where I wanted to get Pana on board because he's the expert in AR, VR, and he's been working on this for the last like 3 years, and I know nothing about it. So I'm trying to learn. And the reason we are in this is, yeah, hopefully you're seeing my desktop here. This is me, and that's Pana on the left-hand side corner. So the reason we are into this is, again, because of Sarah Fats, who's in the chat room. Our team actually has a few of these wonderful things. These are the Oculus VR devices. And there are like 3 or 4 of them around, the Rift, the Quest, and the Go. So we have a few of the Oculus Quest in our team now. And the whole point of this is to explore a new dimension of bringing our apps, maybe some UI, maybe some interactivity with folks in a whole new way, which is what everybody is trying to do. My initial thoughts were mind-blowing. Like, this is like, Pana, you've had a VR device for quite some time, right?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, see, I am new to this. I am very new to this.
So,
yeah. Yeah, go on. You were about to say something.
I'll bring the device in the middle here. That's the Quest. The thing is, the Oculus Go, it's an entry-level device. It's capability. Basically, mostly used to as media viewer, something like a big screen that you immerse into.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Oculus Rift to the left, it's a better device. It requires a very powerful gaming PC if you want good experiences. And what we currently have as devices on our side, it's the one in the middle.
The Quest.
Uh,
Yep.
the Quest, yeah. The Oculus Quest can still be connected to a PC if you want to,
Yeah.
but also
Yeah.
run
So,
out the media.
Tana, if you can hold that thought in your Skype, we are on a Skype call here, folks. If you can turn
Yeah.
up your volume all the way up, you're just a slightly muted on my side. So get your volume all the way up. Yeah. So yes, looks like you have the Quest as well, and this is wonderful because, well, I mean, everything is out of stock right now on Oculus because of the times that we're living in. Everybody is into or exploring newer territories. So this is quite something. I am new to VR. I had played with the Microsoft HoloLens when it first came out, not the Gen 2. I had played with the augmented reality HoloLens, and that was a whole different experience because you essentially saw your outside world. That's augmented, right? And you had like a small rectangular viewport of things that they were augmenting, which was fine. And I mean, AR has lots of applications. In fact, there are strong rumors that Apple might come out with an AR set of glasses next year, so we'll see. But that's a whole different experience. Like you can actually see the physical world. VR is completely detached, and it's so immersive. Like we have been playing around with some of the applications, some of the games that are on Oculus, and it's amazing. And this is where you see some of the VR fails, the videos where people completely lose track of where they are. Right? They walk in and they fall, and it's hilarious, and sometimes it's painful. But that's VR, right? So. Looks like the Rift is like you said, that has to be powered in or plugged into a PC. It's for playing games on the PC, while the Go is kind of more lightweight. Is that right? After three.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's more like for viewing, okay. And the Quest is really for interactivity and like all in. So you with the Quest you get the VR headsets and you get two pair of controllers, and they do different things, the left and the right. So it's very immersive, and based on the application that you're in, you can really just do all interactivity through those two controllers. So it is wonderful. So yeah, if anybody else is into VR, let us know in the chat room about your experiences. This is obviously a Facebook thing now, Oculus, and it's yeah, it's amazing. The world of VR is amazing. If I may, before we kind of get into Unity, let me ask you this, Pana, since you are the expert. How would you differentiate today between augmented, mixed, and VR reality?
So VR, virtual reality, immerses the user completely in the digital experience. You don't see anything from the real world. With augmented reality, it's more like you see the real world, but you get hints or digital objects that are displayed on top of it. With mixed reality, basically, both the digital and the real world are blended together in an interactive way. There are very subtle differences between these, but we kind of started calling them all just XR. And the different headsets have like very little variations in their capabilities. But yeah, basically the differences between AR and VR is that the amounts of real and the amount of virtual worlds that you play.
Right. So, Paran, let me ask you one thing. Like yesterday, when we were on the call, just trying this out, you had a headset, right? Well, what am I hearing you in? Yeah, that's the VR headset, but like just for your audio on Skype, because you're coming across just a little bit muffled. Your volume is still a little muted. Is there anything else you can speak into, like a little headphone?
I'll just check the sound.
I mean, I can hear you. It's just a little muffled.
Yeah, so it's muffled, okay? This is the mic, I'm not sure.
And while you're doing this, I'm going to fix up. I see like a little bit of...
Okay, just
see, now that's much better. Much better. Yes, thank you.
Much better, okay.
Yes. Okay. Hang on one second. I'm going to fix
Awesome.
a quick display thing because it's not right. Okay, so we were just like occupying half a screen, so I bumped up my resolution a little bit. Okay, hey Ivana, good to see you in the chat room. Yeah, and I think your voice is coming along much better. So I missed the last part of what you said there, Pana. So mixed reality, you're saying you are still immersive, but you see a little bit of the real world, right?
Yes, and you can interact with both worlds, basically.
Okay. Oh, hey, Tail Learn Code. Good to see you again. Good to see you, Chad. Yeah, we are, just to kind of take our minds off some of the depressing stuff, we are still hanging out here and just talking about some fun tech here. So the Oculus Quest, Pana, it does have like a pass-through mode. Like it does have like the 4 cameras on each side. So you could do a pass-through where you see your surroundings. So is mixed reality a mode in which you always want to see your surroundings? Or like how is this immersive and augmented at the same time?
The Oculus Quest is virtual reality. The only reason why you can enable the pass-through is for safety reasons, not to bump into your room.
Right.
So the cameras are not positioned correctly relative to your eyes, so the depth is a little bit distorted. Oculus doesn't want to promote the Quest as AR device, but Oculus are working on AR device. I expect something like the HoloLens, but from Oculus to appear very soon. They aim to build glasses, pretty much like your glasses at the moment, that will be able to display images onto the real world, but we have to wait and see what they will develop.
Yeah, I should have probably pointed out your volumes a little sooner. You sound so much clearer now, so my apologies. Well, how am I speaking to you now? What headset are you using?
What headset? I'm using
Bluetooth thing. Yes.
I also think, because I don't want to have echo or something, and I also want to be able to.
Absolutely. Once we put
this
on, we can't be wired. Yes. Okay,
absolutely.
So all of this stuff is great for gaming and experiences, but as developers, you want to get into like, how do I enable experiences on these devices, right? How do you build apps and how do you build games for this? So there are obviously a few choices, and Unity comes first to mind because it's a game engine that is that's very easy to get into, right? Have you had experience with any other game engines or any other frameworks like Unreal or anything else like that?
I don't have experience with Unreal. What I know is that it's based on C++ and it requires a little bit different skill set to develop it.
Yeah.
That's one thing. And the other is as a past experience, I have used Microsoft technologies. So XNA, for example, I have experience with XNA, but
that brings back memories. XNA is such an old thing, and yeah, I've had some XNA experience. When Windows Phone first relaunched as Windows Phone before it was like Windows Mobile, they used to support XNA for games.
Yes.
Yeah.
It didn't. We developed a game internally in the company, the .NET Ninja. You could hack and slash bugs, but yeah, that's not very relevant. I mean, currently the technologies really are Unity or Unreal, and Unity is really easy to pick up, while Unreal, at least to based on opinions that I've heard, is more suitable.
Yeah, I mean, if you're okay with like C++, I mean, I don't think Unreal is too hard to get into either. But
exactly. Yeah.
I think the tooling is it's much more developed for Unity because again they're much more friendly to Microsoft devs. So tell me about Unity. What do you know about Unity?
What I know about Unity. It is based on C# and it's made very extensible. So one of the things that impressed me the most is that anyone can write tooling for it. I mean, you can automate a lot of the tasks. You can hack up your own manual systems or basically augment the ID. So this makes it very powerful. And another thing is that basically with a few clicks you can get your game up and running. Most of the code is written in a way that's really reusable, so you can build a low-code game. Even if you're not
that is pretty big.
Yeah,
I mean, you can pretty much go all in or very low code with Unity. So are you saying Unity is written in C# or like you can write C# within Unity for your game?
A big portion of Unity is written in C#.
Interesting.
And a lot of the code is available. There are public APIs that you can use to add menus, to add controllers that interact with the scene, for example. You can automate the build scripts. A lot of the aspects can be there are a lot of hooks for everything. I mean, you can plug your own C# code anywhere and just
yeah, interesting. Yeah, so that's what I want to get into and see where we can build something fun and useful. So when you say like you can build games and apps with Unity, what are we targeting? Hey, thanks for the follow. I see some follows come through. What are we targeting? Is it desktop? Is it mobile?
Both.
Okay.
The way I work with VR at the moment is I'm targeting the Oculus Quest.
Okay.
But the Oculus Quest can be connected with a cable to a PC, and once you connect it and enable Oculus Link, it acts as Oculus Rift. Why is this important? Oculus Quest is based on Android. If you do some modifications on your game and want to test the changes on a real device, it takes a lot of time to build Android package and deploy it. But as soon as you have Oculus Rift device, Unity is very well integrated with the Rift, so you just can click the play button on Unity, and the VR experience basically launches in the Rift. So we do this hack. We make like 20 iterations with Rift, so we can do quick iterations in the Unity ID. And when we want to test performance or the things actually will work once they are built and deployed, then we build for Android and deploy the Android application.
Okay, so I have sorry, my throat is acting up today. Excuse me. So I have two questions based on what you said. So you said the Quest or Oculus is running Android. Is it like literally pure Android like we see on mobile devices or tablets?
Yes, you basically use ADB to push applications on it, and a lot of the Android APIs are actually available. You still have to care about the Android manifest when you request permissions for tracking and stuff.
Interesting. Okay, so like when I first asked you, like, what can I do with Unity? You said, what are we targeting, mobile, desktop, or VR? Like, could you do all three? Like, is it like a shared code base that you can target all three?
Yes, you can target all three. One of the things that makes sense is if you don't want to put on and off the headset to test on the device, you can implement some of the interactions in a way that you can work with a keyboard and the mouse, or with via hands or a laser pointer or something, and basically be able to run the same experience both on a desktop, like on a standalone 2D application, and if you attach a VR device to actually experience the application in a VR device. So Unity is able to target all of these platforms. You can build a 2D application that renders the 3D scene on a desktop machine. You can build a VR application for desktop that supports the Oculus Rift. You can build a mobile application that is for Android or for iOS. And also you can make VR mobile that's for Quest. There are other mobile devices, VR devices besides the Quest. I mean, there are other companies that make similar headsets, but we will focus on the Quest.
Yeah. So, sorry, like one more question before we kind of get into this stuff. So, if you are targeting to make a game for, let's say, mobile and VR, could you set up the game so that it runs like on 2D on your mobile device, and then when you go to Quest, it is 3D?
It's a little bit more complicated. The Android that's running on the Oculus Quest does not connect to the apps, to the Google's App Store. Oculus have their own version of the App Store, so the VR experiences are uploaded in the Oculus ecosystem. If you want to build a game that's for Android devices, you will probably go to Google. So you will use the same code base. You will make some modifications for the UI and UX and the interactions on top of that game that can differ for AR and VR and 2D, basically 2D displays, mobile displays, and just build several different applications out of it. There is one thing to note, though, that VR UX is very different,
of course,
in nature. So it makes most sense if you want to build a successful VR application to just be focused onto VR.
Yeah, but I'm sure you can like share some code, like you said, like it could be a single code base, and then you have like different UIs maybe for mobile and VR. Maybe like some of the business logic as to what your game does. Maybe that could be shared.
Absolutely, I even have an example of this. Inside our company, Inside Progress, we do not deal with entertainment, but we have targeted health and safety with VR.
It's funny what you said. Like within Progress, we don't do entertainment. We are all serious. We are corporate.
We are business people.
We're business. Okay. We're always in suits, as you can see. No, we try to have fun, and in fact, like maybe next week onwards, I'll maybe let you drive a little bit more, Pana, because I know you and your team, you have written some amazing and kind of entertaining apps that businesses can use. So today is all about exploration. So let me start. I think we have had quite a bit of talking. Let me start, and let's see where I'm at. Okay. So I'm on Unity, and let's see. So I did one thing before we started, and that's about it. So I am confused, and I need your help. So folks, if you're starting to do this with us, or you're just starting to get into Unity, this is where you start. Just unity.com, and you look around. all the solutions and all the products that they have. It's for games, it's for film, it's for architecture, it's for different things. They have lots of examples of stuff that is made with Unity, which is very impressive. All the AR, VR, or all the VR stuff and all the desktop gaming stuff that they make. And then they have actually fairly detailed learning courseware. So there is some courseware, and then there are some tutorials that you can follow through. If you log in and if you make yourself a Unity ID, there's like a full courseware that you can follow. And then when you go to get started, this is where you kind of start. So there are plus and pro plans for businesses, but we are individuals. So if you're a student, this is no barrier to entry. You can get the SDK, you can get started. Even for personal folks like us who are not trying to ship apps directly into the VR stores to make money, it's free for us as well. I think, right, the revenue of under like 100K, is that right? Pana, looks like it's all, like, the tooling is all free, right?
There are different tiers. I mean, you can start free.
Yeah.
If you're a small shop or a personal, you can use it for free. There are some limitations, like they will show the made with Unity launch screen.
I see.
And yeah.
Yeah. I mean, once you get to a point where you are having to pay Unity, I think that's a good problem to have. It just means your game is successful.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm here and I'm going to do the get started. So what they do is actually a very nice experience. Like, they walk you through, like, here are things you should do to get your feet wet, try to move around and try to do stuff that is low code and get things going. So first thing is, once you're here, folks, go ahead and start here. You're going to download a few things, right? And that is the Unity SDK and the Unity IDE. For Windows or Macs, it works everywhere. I'm on a Mac today, and I'm sure Pana is going to be on Windows moving forward. So to me, like, this is it's not a small download. It's like a 9 GB download, and I don't even bat a lid anymore, because like nowadays, like in the last like few years, like Xcode downloads, Visual Studio downloads, they're all about like 10-15 gigabytes. So it's not bad, but just like have the time to just do that one time, because it does pull down all of those things. So once you do that, this is kind of where we start. Now, it is a slightly heavy application, so let me see how my computer is going to hold up to it while we're streaming. Okay, so what you get here is this thing called the Unity Hub, and Pana, correct me if I'm wrong, this like Unity Hub actually doesn't do anything. This is not the IDE. Then it opens up Unity, right? This is kind of a placeholder.
There was a time when you could install a Unity in one place, and if you wanted a new version of Unity, you had to install it into another place, and they conflicted.
Okay.
Unity developed this Unity Hub as a place where you can install different versions of Unity. So you can actually develop new games with new version of Unity, but if you don't want to migrate old games, but you want to support them, you can actually keep them with using some of the older Unity ID versions.
So that's interesting. You can do different versions of Unity side by side.
Yeah.
Okay, so looks like they also throw in all of their learning stuff in here, and the community stuff. These are mostly links to their forums, to their blogs and other things. Installs. Okay, I see what you're saying. So this one I'm using the latest, right, is 2019 3.1. So that's the latest one I could get, but I guess you can add more things to this. So okay, good to know that you can have multiple versions. And like you've been using this for a while. Like, are there breaking changes in Unity, like from version to version, like major versions?
Yeah, they do, but they are doing their best to fix them, and usually once they get to a stable version, they're pretty safe.
Okay.
They have several releases per year, and every once in a while they will pick something like a stable, and it gets just bug fixes. But if you check Unity from the last year and Unity from like what you have installed, they will need your scenes to be migrated. There are changes in the APIs, they deprecate stuff, so it's not a problem to migrate, but yeah, they are breaking changes.
Okay. All right, so from my Unity hub, so this is all that I really have done, and this was like just last night, and I'm hoping you can give me some clarity as to if I'm completely confused or if I'm doing things right. So the only thing I've really done is just picked up one of their built-in tutorials, and they have four. So there is like right here, like they show you like, do you want a karting game? Do you want a platformer game, which is kind of like a Mario jumping thing, a first-person shootout game, and I don't know what the empty 3D thing is, but it's possibly just to kind of look around and experience 3D better. So I started with the karting game, and right now you can see that assets, it's loading up all of the things that the game needs to work for Unity. So it takes a bit of time. I think it's done. No, it's still thinking. Have you done any of these tutorials, Pana?
No.
Okay. So this may be actually interesting. Yes. By the way, Pana, are you able to see the stream? Like, because I'm not sharing my desktop with you in Skype. Are you able to see?
I'm watching it.
Okay,
Yeah,
perfect. So you're watching things just like after with a second delay, so it's not bad. All right, so yes. I'm in Unity, folks. This is it. This is the tooling that we're going to use to build games and apps and whatnot. Let me see if I can make everything a little smaller. No. So this is the default resolution. Okay, so Pana, I'm confused because there's a lot going on here. And it's for good reason, because we want all of this power. But there's a lot going on. So I'm starting with one of the tutorials, and this is Unity, and obviously it's a big IDE that does a lot of things. So I'm going to try to maybe understand, or maybe ask you a few questions to see what things are. So assets, this sounds fairly straightforward, like all of the assets that your game or your app needs, that's where they need to be. Then you can have package manager. So the package manager thing, is that kind of like a NuGet concept? Like you can bring in dependencies for your app or your game?
Yes, but it's complicated.
Okay.
Unity has several ways to distribute packages.
Okay.
One is ad hoc. You can basically make something .unity package like file and upload it on your site, but nobody does that.
Okay.
Another thing that they have is the asset store. The asset store is a place for all creators to publish their own content for Unity.
Oh.
You can get like 3D models, tooling for Unity. You can find the Oculus integration is there. So nice. A lot of the stuff is shipped this way, but it's primarily for third parties. They don't handle well interdependencies. I mean, if one asset depends on another, it gets a little bit tricky. And there is the package manager. The package manager is very similar to NPM. It uses basically package JSON files to describe dependencies. But I think Unity currently keep only first-party things in the package manager.
Okay.
So you can upgrade things in the IDE by installing them from the package manager.
Okay. So that's interesting. So like if I am a developer and I have no, hey, Pana, before I go on, do you have a drink, a water or anything with you? Anywhere close to you? No? Okay, well, we have been asked to hydrate because we have been talking quite a bit, so I'm going to take a drink for the both of us. The chat room keeps us busy. They care for us. They don't want us to just keep on talking for an hour without taking a sip. Okay, so if I'm a developer coming into this, and if I don't have like designers to help me out, you're saying I could go to the asset store and I can start with somebody else's thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, the care and feeding of streamers. That's what Sarah is saying, yes. Okay, so looking around more in Unity, so I see game objects, so I can add like 3D objects, I can add 2D objects, I can add different types of effects. Ooh, they have particle systems. Are these like
Yeah.
particles that you can just program and see what they do?
Yes, mostly like explosions, fires,
Oh, nice. Okay, so they
fairy
have,
dust.
yeah, this is all very enticing stuff. They have lights from different directions, points, spotlight, obviously audio, video, UI. What is UI? Oh, like if you had to do like drop downs, input fields, panels, scroll views. Interesting. Now, I will let Pana speak to this, but I want to show a little bit of what you all have been involved with. So if I'm, obviously we are working at Progress Software, but this is what we do. I want to show off a little bit of what this can mean. So if I head over here to Telerik.com, if I go into my VR data vids, you're going to see like this is the stuff that Pana and his team, Georgi, and everybody does. We have been experimenting quite a bit with AR, VR. The thing that we do really well is data visualization. So that's kind of the place that all of these guys started with. You can see some of the things that Pana and his team have built, like Twitter graphs, sales dashboards, to really be able to have a 3D like chart or a graph or a view and be able to walk all around it. That is pretty enticing. And yeah. Oh, what is this? This is new to me. This motion tool, so you can record motions for Unity game objects. Oh wow, what is this?
Yes. We wanted to record some videos and display them, basically capture our avatars and be able to capture them like for cinematics. So we have this tool written for Unity that can record the position of the Unity game objects and the positions of the Oculus avatars. So you can put on your headset, you can add some team members and a multiplayer experience, interact with each other, and record the setting and play it later. It can be used for example, for education. You can record certain lessons like this.
Interesting.
We also, yeah, it turned out to be very useful.
Yeah. Before we keep on going, in the chat room, I see our good friend Kevin Griffin. Good to see you, Kevin. I'll do a chicken dance for you because that's what you deserve. No, I'm kidding. So, one of the things that I feel like most VR applications do is that immersive like feel of where you are. Now I know like you and your team have been walking around with working with factories and doing like safety checks for their employees. Do you use this motion tool to kind of capture motion as you put out the app first?
Yeah, like I said, we used it to capture our virtual avatars and play the setting. For health and safety, what we did is we have built something like a solution that will allow factories to do like a safety briefing. If someone has to get into the factory plant and they have to follow the safety procedures and policies, we now offer a way to do this briefing into virtual reality. Nice. The thing is, if you have something like a dangerous machine, something that you're going to work with, something that can basically chop off your hand or something.
You just casually said that. Something that can chop off your hand.
Yeah, this stuff we can capture 3D videos, or we have done some modeling that will explain how to work with that machine, how to disable it safely before you work with it.
Nice. Yeah, I want to get into all of this like in the upcoming weeks. This is very, very interesting to me, like how you can provide like safety solutions through VR before somebody actually goes out on the field or onto the factory floor to do something. That is pretty impressive. This is the team, right? Here you are right there. That's Pana. I am also good friends with Georgi and a bunch of other wonderful folks. Svetlin is pure UX and design. So You have a good set of very smart people working on this. Okay, back to Unity. Looks like we have different types of game objects, then we have different types of components, again, audio, video, rendering, layout. This is a very, very involved IDE. It has a lot. Cine Machine. What is Cine Machine? Like virtual camera, free look, like different camera angles and like recording things, like recording a storyboard?
Yeah, basically for animations.
Jobs.
You can do animations with it.
Okay.
Jobs. Jobs is something new. Unity wanted to offer multi-threading, but in a safe way. With C# and .NET framework, you can start different threads and use locks, and you can share the same memory between multiple threads. So Unity wanted to guard against locking between threads and touching the same memory from different threads. So they implemented these job systems. It's not just the threading, but it also handles the memory model relatively well. They have special containers that isolate memory when you want to work with it.
Good. Okay. All right. So that's all the top menu. I'm just like spending time getting used to this before we do things. So it looks like this is the main scene, and like this is loading up all of the scenes and the assets that go into a scene, or the asset store that you mentioned is right here. Let me see what that does. I think it's just going to load up the public asset store. Yep, connecting to the asset store. And
yes.
Let me take a quick look. Okay, so this is where you can actually look through VFX tools, audio, video. Okay, this is nice. This is nice. This gives you like a starting point, and platform specific. Okay, all right. And so these are all the tutorials which we'll get into, and then there are like projects here, which I think are all the files that make up the project, not just like one scene, right?
Yeah. So.
Okay. And this is where you see C# files.
In the assets, you have things like images. You can have videos. All the textures go there, and the C# files. This is basically a file structure. You can right-click and open it in Finder or something to see these physical files.
Gotcha.
Most of the files are reusable. If you have a script, you can attach it to different game objects. If you have textures, of course, you can use them in multiple places.
Okay.
So the assets is files on the file system that are reusable. It contains the code and the visuals.
Interesting.
Also the audio.
Okay.
What you're the hierarchy menu is a little bit more interesting. Unity works with scenes. A scene is basically a file that contains a visual graph of several game objects.
Okay.
Currently, you have open one such scene. I'm not sure that I can read the title, but in the hierarchy,
main
we can
scene.
see all the. Yeah, we can see the content of the main scene file. We can see the object graph there.
Yes.
Basically, all characters, the track, the sun. If you use the menu to create new objects, they will probably be added to the scene somewhere in this tree.
Yeah. Okay. Now, one thing I'm noticing, folks, the left-hand corner of my desktop is obviously hidden because I have Pana here. So yeah, I'm going to try not doing stuff here in the left-hand side corner. If we need to see the whole thing, I can move to a different scene where you can see my full desktop. But we're going to be up here for now. So let me see. So I'm actually starting off with one of the tutorials here. So I think if I go to like Show Tutorials, it shows you like all of these. It changed some things here. Okay. I'm still in this main tutorial, I think. Okay, so I'm going to hit play and see what this does. I think this is the karting game, right? So
yeah.
Let's see. Did it do anything? It's thinking. Whoa, it's actually playing music on my ears. Okay. Alright. Bear with me, Pana. Okay.
The video is a little bit behind. Basically, when you click the play, you will see a game window.
Yeah.
You have two tabs. One is the scene. In the scene, you can edit stuff. You can select objects and delete them or change their settings in the inspector. In the game tab,
Pana, hold on 1 second. Because this music is a little too loud. Let me finish this and then you can tell me. Okay. No, that was loud music in my ears. Hopefully the stream caught it as well. So, okay, so you said when I hit the play, it goes into a game mode and actually runs you through the scene as to how to play the game, right?
Yeah.
So what are we looking at? This is like, what's the canvas this thing is running on? Is it a desktop game, this one?
This one is a desktop game.
Okay.
Yeah, running on a Mon.
Okay. Yes, and then what were you saying? Like, what are the tabs? Like, this is the game tab you were saying.
Yeah, this is important. There is a scene tab and game tab.
Okay.
You use the scene tab to edit things.
I see.
You can move them around.
I see.
In the game tabs, you can use the mouse and the keyboard to actually give input to the game and to play it.
Yep.
They both execute in Unity. So when you click play, Unity compiles all your scripts and runs the game in a desktop mode.
Mm-hmm.
If you attach a VR headset, when the Unity launches this game window, you can also put on your headset and you will be seeing the...
So I can run the same game in VR?
You will have to set up a proper camera for VR.
I see.
Yeah, pretty much, yes.
Okay. Okay, so I want to explore a little bit more because I think that's what Unity wants you to do, just to kind of understand, because I'm not yet sure like how I would set this up. So let me see what this does. Okay, so this is one of the tutorials, playtest. In this, we're going to learn to make a quick change. Okay, start. Enter play mode. Okay, so I'm going to enter the play mode. So this puts us in the game mode, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on, let me turn off. Whoa, and the music is back. Hang on. And where's my mouse pointer? There you go. Okay. The music is very loud. I wonder if there's a way to tune down the music once it's playing. Okay, so they're stepping us through, like, here's the hierarchy view that you talked about. So this one here says the card classic player game object. So pick that. So if I pick that, oh, so it actually shows you the card classic player. 1 second, I don't know why I have Slack open. Okay. So once you select something, looks like you get to see all the properties of that particular thing you are looking at. No, I probably didn't select.
You have to click on the click on the text, not on the arrow, and you will select it.
I may have hosed this up. Hang on. Exit tutorial, yes. Okay, let's do that one more time. Okay, so we know the play mode and how to get in and then how to get out. It is really struggling with all of the things that are going on. Okay, so we know play mode, we know the hierarchy view. Okay, select the card classic player game object. Okay, got that selected. And now they're saying this is the inspector view. Okay, so all the properties of that thing. Oh, top speed. Oh, change the top speed. Okay, I can do that. Let's do 20. and go next. So is there a way to turn off the music that is gonna play when it's because every time I hit the play mode, it is loud in my ears.
I'm not sure if there is a volume menu in the
not.
game window. You can check that. And if it doesn't work, we can look for a game object that handles the audio and just disable it or
just
something.
Disable that, yeah.
Okay.
So since I did enter play mode one more time, I'm just going to do this. Okay, so I think I'm just going much faster because I changed the top speed. Okay, I understand. That was easy. Okay, so that was the tutorial. So they just wanted us to walk through. Okay. Editor UI, what is this? Scenes have been modified. Yeah, don't save. Editor UI. Okay, this is the hierarchy scene that you were talking about. Select the hand tool. Okay, hand tool. Pan around the scene. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. So we are still in 2D. Well, I guess the objects are 3D, but we are panning around in 2D because we are obviously in desktop. Next, orbit scene is hold down the Alt Option key and left button, mouse button, and move around the mouse. Okay. So I can do Option and then, oh, I see. So I can kind of move around in 3D. Okay. I understand.
Yep.
And zoom in and out, hold down and do scroll. Okay. So hold down Option and then scroll. Okay. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. Like you're able to place the camera kind of right behind the karting guy. Okay. So you can change around the object camera view. All right. Project structure, project window. Okay, we get this. This is the left corner that I'm going to stay away from since you are here. Done. Okay. All right. Edit colors. Okay, so I mean, I could go down this a little bit. So it looks like you can add a jump, and then you can actually do mods. Like you can add new tracks probably, and then you can actually publish to the web and just have your friends play with you. Okay, so like all of this is very point and click. Like where's the code that's doing all of this?
In the asset folder.
Assets. All right, so
yeah, if you check the folders, probably there is scripts or something.
Hang on, my this window went off to the other monitor. Okay, so it's putting stuff here. I want to see what it's putting out. Wait, I thought I just saw it the other day. Oh, my card game. Okay. So these are all the files that it is literally putting out. Assets. Okay, karting. So animations. What are these files? What are these mask files? What are these meta files? Do you know?
Yes, I know.
Okay.
Some of them in the assets. So
I don't see code yet. Are these the controllers? Like, well, what are the controller files? Card controller.
Would you like to open Unity? Go back to the Unity ID.
Yep.
And in the hierarchy window, you should be able to select the card.
So this is the card classic player. Okay, I selected the card.
Okay, in the inspector, there are properties, right? Where you change the maximum speed.
Yes, it was right there. Acceleration, yes.
So these properties, you can right-click on the header about properties and select Edit Script. This will basically open the C# code for the card. You can right-click Arcade Card and select Edit.
Okay, give me 1 second. Our good friend Ivana is trying to tell me something in Skype. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so we need to be done at 11 because one of our good friends, Ed, has to stream about Blazor stuff because that's pre-scheduled. So, yes, yeah, we can do that. So we got 3 minutes. Sorry, Pana. I think Ed, like he was supposed to do it somewhere else, but he has to use the Twitch stream, which is perfect.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we can resume. So you were saying like all of this stuff is from the properties, and then there are like objects for the cart player that that we are going to be able to edit in code as well as here.
Yes.
Okay. Are these like C# objects?
Yes. So basically you have the hierarchy window where you have game objects. Each game object has a collection of behaviors, and when you select the game object in the hierarchy, you can see the behaviors in the inspector. In the inspector, you can assign behaviors to the game objects. You can add and remove or edit the properties. Each of these behaviors is basically a C# script that extends a very specific C# class in Unity from the Unity assembly. And the public properties classes.
Okay. All right.
You can edit any of these scripts basically, and you can create a new class, extend mono behavior, and then you can assign this behavior in the inspector to a game object.
Gotcha.
There are events like for the life cycle, but I guess we'll cover them later.
Yeah. Yeah, no, so Ivan in the chat room is saying this was fun because like this is super enticing to me, like having looked at Visual Studio all day, like this is so different, and being able to make our objects do things in 3D, that's going to be wonderful. But we have to stop our stream right here, folks, because our good friend Ed is going to take over, and he is pre-scheduled to talk about Blazor stuff from 11 a.m. Eastern, so we don't want to eat into his time. But Pana, I want to thank you so much for joining me and just getting me started. I hope in the next weeks we can actually move forward with these tutorials. We can actually build a game that we can deploy on desktop as well as VR. So thank you, Pana. And folks in the chat room, we love you. We know times are tough for lots of reasons, but take care and love each other. And we shall see you on the next stream right here. Okay? Bye-bye for now.